Welcome to Will's World, your will overall, powered by Third Gen Physical Therapy and Sports Science Institute.
Good morning, good afternoon, good night, good evening, whenever you're listening. Thanks for listening, and we're back with another episode. Before we get started, please like, share, subscribe. We're on all platforms: Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, as well as Amazon. Is that Amazon Podcast, I guess? Yeah, we're on that. So, in today's episode, we're going to talk about a sports-related topic. They love you, hate you, and love you again. This topic really touches home because there's a lot of this going around now because in the world of NIL, we have a lot of athletes who get paid to play a sport. And some of them have an issue with dealing with what comes with that payment, right? And it's totally okay. It's totally fair. But also, even when you were not getting paid, it's still the same thought. They love you. They hate you. They love you again. And you're trying your best to do a few things. And we're going to talk about those things. First and foremost, the first pillar of our talk, we're going to have a three-part pillar, obviously. Don't fall for the bait. They praise you, so when you fail, they can kick you when you're down. The praise you get can be good, but do realize there's an other side to it, right? Understand the media's agenda. Some people can do it, some people can't do that. So if you're really trying to dumb it down, let's say sports is a game of life, right? People in your life love you, and sometimes they hate you as well. And it can literally be the same thing in sports, right? And people need something to talk about. So let's start with the first pillar. Don't fall for the bait, man. They praise you, so when you fail, they can kick you when you're down. I'm going to give two examples. This topic itself, within itself, once again, comes from one of our great people here in the clinic. Does an amazing job with our content. Has great ideas, and I really feel like that person has a gift for doing this. So I just always want to praise people who I feel like have that talent. And they gave me these two people, and I think it's perfect for the talk, right? Ryan Williams and Arch Manning. Now let's start with Ryan Williams. Plays for University of Alabama. He's a receiver. Young guy. I think he got into college last year as a 17-year-old. Had a really, really hot rise initially, and then kind of flamed out the rest of the year. And it was a lot of love being given to him, a lot of praise, and how, man, this guy should skip, college after this year and go to the NFL. And then the reality of football occurs, which is once they figure out what you do, who you are, they make it hard for you to be able to perform on the field. And then all the praise you're receiving turns into negativity, which is why you have to basically have that level of understanding and balance. Now, the other part of that is that you have to be honest with yourself. If we watch Ryan Williams play, there's certain things about him as a player that's just amazing. His ball skills, his ability to track the ball, his athleticism. I mean, those things are just God-gifted ability. But there's some things about what he does as an actual receiver that probably could be better. And I'm pretty sure he'll tell you that if he's honest. But sometimes same thing that makes us great makes us just as vulnerable. So you have to be accountable for yourself, what you can do to improve, to constantly become the person you want to be in the game that you're playing. And if you don't want to improve and who you are, you're happy with, well, be okay with what comes with that. Whatever criticisms that you receive, whatever praise you receive, it's all good. Now, the reason he wanted, not he, but the reason I wanted to actually talk about Arch Manning, because this is a beautiful conversation for me. I enjoy this conversation because it tends to piss people off, and I'm not trying to piss them off. I just want us to have a real conversation here. The amount of actual hype Arch Manning received at the beginning of this season, right, was not even warranted at all. He hadn't did a thing. People are going to go back and pull up some stats from end of the season last year and all that great jazz and whatever, but it wasn't warranted. So they were praising him because of his last name, right? And as soon as he hit that ACC wall, they were kicking him when he was down. Now, that is warranted because honestly, if you watch him play, the kid has some problems. But guess what? He's a kid. He's supposed to have some problems. And as a result, it's very interesting when you see him have some success, his response to having that success, right? it was a lot of immaturity in some of that celebrating against, the Sam Houston States of the world and the UTEP miners and all that stuff. But he's a kid, so there's a maturity there. The one thing that has to occur with him is that the production and the talent has to match the last name, because we all know there are certain quarterbacks, Shooter Sanders, that the criticisms for him were so unfair that a lot of times there weren't even criticism. There was just personal hate and dislike for the guy. Arch Manning is not in that world yet. He's in a place where people just think that, maybe he's young, and a lot of people are trying to, how can I say this, give him some grace. And that's cool. But you have to understand that there's praise and then sometimes there's criticisms. And being okay with not falling into that cycle and trying to keep it in perspective. Because in my opinion, those two players I just mentioned can be better. Now the question is, will they be better? And if they're not better, the criticisms that come with not being better, it just comes with the actual plays. You get paid a lot of money now, guys who play college ball. You don't get protected from criticisms. You just don't. And you should. It just kind of comes with the territory. Now, understanding the media agenda, right? It's kind of hard to do sometimes because a lot of us are not media savvy. And what I mean by that, we don't watch enough TV anymore to understand the cycle, how the media works. So just look at it like this. Sports is a game of life. People in your life can love you and hate you all in the same breath. People in the media can love and hate you in all the same breath. There's certain things they're trying to push in the media. There's certain conversations they're trying to push. Why? Because the viewer said that, hey, we like to watch this, hear this, and want you to talk about that. So look at ratings. So a lot of this is being pushed not because they have a personal deal all the time, as far as like with or against the athletes. Sometimes it's just because it gets the people to turn it on, right? And at the end of the day, you got to be able to understand that that's a real legit thing, and being able to navigate that and realize that what you do will be spoken on in certain terms. And if you're okay with being, the conversation, then great. If you can't physically, overcome that on the field and mentally it's starting to mess with your play, and now you're in a place where you're in a bad mental space, you probably want to be able to kind of sort of stay low key and try your best to navigate that situation where you don't really give them anything to discuss. Because the last part of that is that you have to realize they want something to talk about, right? And you have to block the noise out. And most importantly, just never let the love or hate, phase you. It's a part of the game. Keep people who really love you, the people who are real, close to you, and try to make sure you don't get lost in all the madness that's out there. Because if you do that, you will be able to be a lot better, a lot more secure in your stability or your surroundings, as far as like, hey, I know who I am. I know who support me. I know when they're criticizing me is warranted. And because if you don't, man, it's a very tough world. And for all the parents who are listening to this, let me say this to you. Your kid is not a meal ticket. Your kid is your kid. You have to be a better parent when it comes to these situations. It can't be just money. It can't be. If it's only money, your child is going to miss out on a phase of their life that has to occur with you assisting them or advising them or guiding them so they can know how to be able to make sure they don't get too far under. There's a lot of suicide. There's a lot of problems in society that are starting to kind of sort of rear their heads a lot more. And a lot of these situations are probably from the fact that there's not enough guidance or not enough people who are there to be able to really lean on when things get really hard, and to be able to give them perspective and know that, hey, it's not over. It's not who you are. It doesn't define you. You have to find who you are. And in this moment, they need you to help them find themselves. I hope today's talk was very, very enlightening. If it did help you, great. If it didn't help you, hopefully you can find somebody who could possibly help. And that's just sometimes how it goes. And we really enjoy talking about these topics. Sport related topics are always cool for me. I love the change of pace because I think that there's a lot going on out here that does not get mentioned. And sometimes we don't have anyone that maybe has a perspective. Like I say, what I say all the time is not 100% correct all the time. And I'm okay with that. I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm just trying to give you advice that I've been given or advice that I have gained over my actual experiences. And I hope that they help you to get you to a place you need to get to. And they do, great. If they don't, I'm sorry. But hey, we'll be here next week. So with that being said, I hope you have a blessed one. I'll catch you in the next one.